In a matter of days, Hurricane Melissa reshaped entire coastlines and fractured communities. It struck Jamaica with unprecedented strength, carved a path through Cuba, and lashed Bermuda before weakening over the Atlantic. Now the urgent chapter begins: rescue, relief, recovery, and the long road ahead. A multinational response is already underway. Local emergency services and national militaries are working non-stop in cut-off communities across Jamaica, parts of Haiti, and the Caribbean, carrying out water rescues, medical evacuations, and delivering life-saving supplies to isolated areas. The Red Cross movement and IFRC are active across the affected islands, scaling up emergency shelter, first aid, clean water and sanitation kits, and working to restore communications. In Cuba, in particular, the IFRC has launched an appeal to assist 100,000 people. Simultaneously, the World Food Programme, UN Food and Agriculture agencies, and their partners are coordinating the logistics, prioritizing food and cash distributions to impacted areas in Jamaica, Cuba, Haiti, and neighboring islands. They are pre-positioning supplies and leveraging reopened ports and airports to get relief where it's needed most. Several governments, including Canada, the US, and the UK, are monitoring the situation and are preparing or have already dispatched assistance. Air and sea corridors are being used for relief flights into Jamaica and to establish staging points for regional distribution. The humanitarian scale of this disaster is staggering. Early consolidated reports estimate at least 49 confirmed deaths across the broader Caribbean. Thousands remain displaced, and the damages are estimated in the billions of dollars. The most pressing needs right now are emergency shelter, medical care, especially in flood-exposed areas, restoring power and clean water, and ensuring food security for those who have lost everything. For those of you at home wondering how to help, the best way is to donate to trusted relief agencies like the Red Cross, IFRC, and the World Food Programme. Support coordinated campaigns, and if you're thinking of traveling, please heed government advisories before volunteering. As of the latest advisories, Melissa has weakened substantially, but it is not yet entirely done. The National Hurricane Center's advisory archive shows Melissa moving northeastward into the North Atlantic. It has been downgraded from the catastrophic Category 5 intensity it had at landfall to a lower intensity as it accelerates away from the Caribbean. In the near term, Melissa is expected to continue weakening as it enters cooler waters and encounters stronger wind shear, which inhibit tropical development. Still, even as its core wind field shrinks, it continues to produce dangerous seas, coastal flooding risk, and gusty winds, especially around Bermuda, parts of the Bahamas, and in shipping lanes along its path. So, is Melissa over? Not entirely. The worst of the landfall damage to Jamaica and parts of Cuba has passed, but meteorologists warn that its remnants remain active, posing marine hazards and lingering effects, and should continue to be monitored for a few more days as it moves deeper into the open Atlantic. Melissa's fury is not just a headline, it's a bellwether. Rapid intensification events like this, where a tropical system surges to a Category 5 storm in under 2 days, are becoming more common. The Caribbean Sea's heat content was measured at 2 to 3 degrees Celsius above average, giving the storm potent fuel. Melissa's landfall in Jamaica, with winds and pressures rivaling historic benchmarks, underscores a new paradigm: storms that reach their peak intensity right before hitting land. That pattern strains forecasting, preparedness, and response systems. The geographic span of its impact, from Jamaica to Cuba to the Bahamas and Bermuda, shows how even nations far from the direct hit zone must brace themselves. It underscores the critical need for resilient infrastructure, early warning systems, and anticipatory planning in a changing climate. Rescue saves lives, recovery rebuilds the future, and for Melissa, that future starts now. The immediate to short-term priorities are clear. Restore power and communications, ensuring hospitals, water plants, and essential services come back online quickly. Reopen roads and clear debris, as many rural communities remain isolated, and crucially deliver food, water, sanitation, and health services, particularly in flood-impacted zones, to prevent disease outbreaks. In the medium term, the focus will shift to housing reconstruction, emphasizing resilient designs that can better withstand strong storms. This includes repairing coastal defenses and drainage systems, especially in low-lying and vulnerable communities. It also means upgrading hospitals, schools, and shelters to function in post-storm conditions with backup power and flood resistance. Looking at the long term, we must address the systemic needs. This means adaptation funding. Small island states and lower-income nations disproportionately suffer, yet often lack the budgetary flexibility for climate adaptation. Debt relief and climate finance are also critical. Many Caribbean nations already carry high debt, and shifting funds toward resilience rather than repayment is increasingly urgent. Finally, regional and global cooperation through disaster risk pooling, shared early warning systems, and capacity building will be essential to face the storms of the future. Melissa's destruction is heartbreaking, but in its wake, communities, governments, and international partners must rebuild smarter, stronger, and more justly. Hurricane Melissa remade landscapes and lives, but through collaboration, courage, and commitment, the story of Melissa will also be one of resilience. If you want to make a difference, please donate to verified humanitarian organizations like the Red Cross, IFRC, or the World Food Programme. Share this video to raise awareness. In the comments below, tell us, where should governments invest first? Power, housing, or climate resilience? Let Melissa's legacy not just be one of destruction, but of resolve, renewal, and readiness. Please subscribe for more past, current, and future events in our world. Thanks for watching.